everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be going through an example on how to design a two-pile cap using two methods. The first method being beam theory and the second method being strut tie. For those who don't know, beam theory is essentially designing the cap as if it was a simple beam. The design of a normal beam is something you should have been taught back at university. Strut tie is a fairly simplistic method of analysing a problem. I hadn't heard of it and I hadn't even learnt it until maybe my third year of working in industry, but it's something I wish I had learned earlier or knew about earlier anyway. Whilst using beam theory to design a cap is absolutely fine, learning strut tie is a very powerful tool which you can use to sort of break down complex problems into simpler, more manageable problems. I think designing a cap is a very easy way to sort of get into using strut tie method. A couple of really common examples where you would use strut tie is, for example, in a deep beam where you can't use traditional beam theory to design the beam. Another design which strut tie is commonly used in is the design of corbels. Because the force is so local to a point, you really need to look at sort of the local and really finite detail in the nodes to really design it properly. A strut is basically a compression path in concrete, and a tie is basically the tension force, which is where you would apply the reinforcement. I'll explain this later when I go through an example in strut and tie. First, let's look at a two-pile cap design and use beam theory first. We're using two 600mm piles and general pile spacing guidance is 3D, which is 3 times the diameter of the pile, and this is the centre to centre distance. We have a 500 square column placed centrally to the pile cap with an axial load of 2,500 kilonewtons, and this is factored. The pile cap is 1400mm deep, and general pile cap guidance is to leave a minimum of 150mm from the edge of the pile to the edge of the pile cap, so the total length of the pile cap is 2,700mm. Simply analysing this as a beam using PL over 4 gives us a bending moment of 1,125 kilonewton meters. If we assume the main bar diameter is going to be 25mm and the links are 12mm, we can get an effective depth of 1,300mm. Using normal beam design equations, we get that the area of steel required is 2,036mm squared. For a more detailed example on concrete beam design, please go watch my other video. You can click up here or in the link in the description below. So now that we've got the area of steel required, let's provide 5 H25 bars, which gives us an area of steel provided of 2,454mm squared. Moving on to the strut and tie example, but first just a brief overview of the key terminology. First we've got struts, which are load paths within the concrete, so generally compression forces. Ties are the reinforcement that resist tension forces, and nodes are the intersection of struts and ties. Nodes can be broken down into commonly 3 types: CCC, 3 compressive struts; CCT, 2 compressive struts and 1 tie; and CTT, 1 compressive strut and 2 ties. Each node needs to be checked, and each type of node has a different set of equations which I've listed here. So first we need to calculate the angle of the strut, which using simple trigonometry comes to 34.7 degrees. Next we need to work out the width of the strut. Because the column is 500 square, again using trigonometry, we can work out that the width of the strut is 304mm. Now we can work out the forces in the strut and then the tie. In the strut, we resolve the force to get 1,520 kilonewtons, then we can resolve again to get the tie force, which is 866 kilonewtons. We can then check the stress in the strut and make sure it does not exceed the maximum allowable stress. So simply divide the strut force by the area of the strut to get 10 MPa. The maximum allowable stress is then calculated using the equations I showed earlier to be 10.6 MPa. Now we can work out the reinforcement by simply dividing the tie force by design yield stress. In this case, the design yield is 435 newtons per millimeter squared, and this gives us an area of steel required of 1,991mm squared. We can again provide 5 H25 bars, the same as using beam theory. In this example, we have 2 nodes to check, a CCC and a CCT node. The CCC is the node at the top where the column meets pile cap, and the CCT node is at pile location. First, let's check the CCT node. We already have the stress from the strut calculated, which is 10 MPa. We need to check the reaction force from the pile. We know that a reaction is half of 2,500 kilonewtons, so the reaction in the pile is 1,250 kilonewtons. We can calculate the stress applied by dividing the reaction force by the area of the pile, resulting in a stress of 4.4 MPa. We need to calculate the max stress resistance, so by using the equations I listed earlier, we get a maximum allowable stress of 12.7 MPa, which is greater than both applied stresses, so it's okay. Next, let's check the CCC node at the top. We already have the strut stress of 10 MPa, so let's calculate the applied stress from the column, which is simply dividing the column force over its area, which comes to 10 MPa. Again, like before, calculate the stress resistance, which comes to 15 MPa, which is greater than the applied, so the design is okay. Here are a couple of quick equations for designing 2, 3 and 4 pile caps. I'd use these for quick designs where you just need to quickly work out the reinforcement, but for more complex problems you really need to check the nodes and the struts. In general, the struts are the least critical and the nodes are the ones which you really need to focus on. If the nodes fail, then the strut is probably going to fail as well. The struts are still definitely worth checking if it's a very unique or difficult situation or problem. So this is just a really quick overview of strut and tie. I've only very briefly covered it. Strut and tie is a very simple but powerful method of analysis, and it can be a little bit tricky and hard to get your head around the first time round, but once you get some practice in it, it is very, very powerful and it does allow you to sort of solve very complex problems. I highly suggest reading up more about strut and tie. Eurocode 2 does have a section on strut and tie, but I think there is other literature which you can go and read to do sort of further research on it. Anyways, if you've enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.